Good evening, Facebook. Today is day 5 of my 25-day mental health awareness challenge. And as you do know, I was nominated by my friend, Reverend Victoria Lawrence, who also was nominated by her own friend, Antonia Justin. I just want to say thank you for the response that these videos have received so far. I really do appreciate your feedback. I appreciate the fact that you are getting back and saying how much the videos have been a blessing to you. And I would also like us to please engage in dialogue and just get conversations going. So today I'm on letter C, and I'm going to be talking about childhood and mental health. Childhood and mental health. So over the past 6 months or so, I've been engaged in quite a number of Zoom calls, and one of the recurring themes that has come up on those calls is what exactly do children need to become mentally stable and socially balanced adults? So, what do children need to become mentally stable and socially balanced adults? And looking at all the research that is available out there, there are about 4 or 5 things that has been identified that are very crucial to children getting the type of background that they need to become mentally stable and socially balanced adults. But before we go there, it's very important to also recognize that childhood is a very crucial period of life when you talk about mental health. And the reason is because the figures show us that 50% of mental illnesses have actually developed by the age of 14, and that 75% of mental health disorders have actually developed by the age of by the mid 20s. That's staggering. Really, what that figure is telling us is that childhood is a very important aspect of life, and not only so, it also tells us that the environment, the education, and the experiences that children have in their life in childhood is very crucial to forming the foundation for their mental well-being throughout their lives. So it's really very important. If you're a parent out there tonight or this evening that is listening to me, please do take this message very seriously. If you are a teacher, you are a carer, you are a foster carer, you are somebody who has the responsibility to take care of children in one way or the other, this is a message that is really very important to hear. So, what are the things that children need for their well-being, mental well-being, and physical mental well-being? So, basically, this we know that unconditional love, positive discipline. There's positive discipline. It creates boundaries and it creates safety and security for children. Unconditional love, positive discipline, a sense helping children to develop a sense of well-being in terms of their self-esteem and their self-confidence, and then also helping them to encourage them to play, enough freedom to be able to play. Those are about the 4 things that are really very crucial for children and their mental well-being going forward into adulthood. So let's try and unpack that very quickly. Unconditional love is really love that doesn't have any price tag attached to it. It's love that is irrespective of performance. That's unconditional love. I want to speak to the parents of teenagers who are listening to me today. Whatever that teenage child is going through, when they go through the temper tantrums, when they go through all these type of things that teenage children sometimes go through, helping them to know that you love them, you value them, and that you care about them is one of the greatest gifts that you can give to them at that period. You need to let them know that irrespective of their performance, whether they are doing well at school or not doing well at school, whether they are behaving well or not, you still love them irrespective. Now that moves me on to the next thing, which is positive discipline. What exactly is positive discipline? Positive discipline can be summarized in 3 5 C words, in 5 C words, and that's it's caring, it's caring, it's commensurate, it's calm. Calm discipline is very important. Particularly, I know there are a lot of Afro Caribbean parents who are listening to me. Many times we meet our discipline and we are so agitated and so excited about it that the ethos of the discipline is lost. So it's calm, it's commensurate, it's caring, it's consistent, and it's communicated. communicated in the sense that sometimes children are disciplined out of reaction out of reaction rather than response. So what happens is that there's a knee-jerk response to their misbehavior, and they don't really know why they're being disciplined. So the essence of it is lost. So the child just feels that, why is mommy screaming at me for no apparent reason? So it's very important that discipline, positive discipline, is one that is caring, is from a caring heart, is calm, is communicated, is consistent, and is commensurate. So don't take away the benefit of the child, for instance, playing on their Xbox for 6 months just because they didn't remember to turn in their homework or their schoolwork. The discipline is to be commensurate to what's happened. And the other thing I wanted to say about unconditional love is that there's a lot of research out there showing that touching children in an appropriate way, hugging them, affectionate touch from their parents particularly and from their caregivers is very, very crucial, particularly in their early years. It's very crucial to their mental well-being and to their emotional well-being. Caring touch and hugging has been known to be important for physical growth, for the brain development, for strengthening the immune system, and also building resilience. So that's also something to bear in mind in terms of what the children need really for their well-being. And then we've talked about unconditional love. We've talked about discipline. The other thing to remember is that positive discipline is the opposite of harsh discipline. Harsh discipline is discipline that is meted out with physical or psychological force, and it's with an intention to correct a child's behavior and to cause harm. Those type of disciplines have been associated with post-traumatic stress disorder. They've been associated with depression. They've been associated with anxiety disorders, and they've also been associated with poor school performance. And this is all research, and I want to also say that some of this research actually took place in Africa. So because sometimes people think, oh, it doesn't apply where I come from. Some of those pieces of research actually come out of Africa, so it's important to bear these things in mind. So we talked about discipline. The other thing it's about helping children to develop a positive sense of themselves, and in terms of their self-esteem, helping them to develop a healthy sense of themselves in terms of their self-esteem and self-confidence. And one of the ways you can do that is to help children to identify their areas of strength. If it's sports, if it's arts, if it's caring, whatever it is that is their superpower, whatever it is that those children are very good at, you need to help them identify it, and you need to create opportunities for them to shine at those things. That's really what the essence of helping them to boost, to develop a healthy self-esteem. Because we live in a world that is full of the fallacy of social media. And social media can be it can make children feel very deficient these days. And of course, one of the other things that parents need to do is to help them to control their social media time. Too much social media time is not good for children, whichever way you cut it. So it's really helping these young people to develop a healthy self-esteem, because it's in childhood that people develop a sense about who they are in relation to themselves, in relation to others, and in relation to the world. So in childhood, children develop a relationship with themselves, with others, and with the world. And the foundation of that relationship is very important, because that's what that carries them through their lives. So the fourth thing is allowing them to play. Children develop a lot through play. They get to know themselves, they get to know others, they get to discover a lot of things, and they get to also know what their strengths and their weaknesses are. So it's very important that children are allowed to develop and to explore through play. For further details about the things I've just shared, I did write an article with the same title, What do Children Need to Become mentally stable and mentally stable and socially balanced adults. And that's in the Testify magazine, of the August edition of Testify magazine, is where I actually shared more. I went into more details about this article. So if you Google, or you go on the Testify magazine Facebook website, you will find the full details of the article on children and their mental well-being on there. Once again, I just want to say that I really appreciate the fact that people have been listening to these videos, and please do get back to me. Please let's get the conversation going. the whole essence of this is really to get a conversation going in our communities. We really need to be talking, we really need to be exchanging views. Let's hear from you about what works and what's not working. And once again, I look forward um, to doing the rest of these videos in the next 20 days. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.